Just a quick video I want to put together for you guys. I think it's important that you see this. I told you months ago that the people who were unvaccinated and remained unvaccinated through the largest, medical advertising push, fear push, were the actual true heroes in America. It was a $4 billion ad campaign trying to convince you that you were going to die. And a lot of people fell for it. They didn't see it as a marketing campaign. They all saw it as, oh my God, I'm going to die. My sister's going to die. My son's going to die. They weren't for a moment thinking how much money was being spent to convince them that they were going to die. Whether it be ads on Facebook, YouTube, the news media, they just didn't think about it. But if you, in that moment, if you could rewind and go back in time and sit down in the midst of that chaos, which I did, to thank the Lord that I had cigars to smoke at that point in time, because I would sit there outside in the beautiful bright sun, smoking my cigar, and I would say, how much damn money is being spent to convince people of this? And then my phone started ringing. People started saying, yo, Jay. I'm like, what up, homie? Hey, man, listen. Dog, how much bread you sitting on? I said, I'm holding. Hey, listen, we need to rent this space. And we're going to have one of these drive-through COVID vaccine locations where you drive up and you get your vaccine, Jay. And I was like, well, okay, well, how much money we talking about we need? Now, we found an old gas station that we just going to talk to the owner. I'm going to go in, I'm going to negotiate with the owner, and we just going to lease it. We don't want to buy it. We want to lease it for about 90 days. And it's $4,300 per shot that people get. And he was like, my partner in the ATL, man, he getting 200-300 people a day to get the shot. That's 4,300 times 200, 300 a day. Player, we can get this paper. And I'm sitting there smoking. I said, damn, that's a lot of damn money. That's a lot of damn money. That's a lot of damn money. And then I say to myself, self, you gotta understand that ain't right. And this ain't right. So I'm like, yo, homie, listen, best of luck with it, man, but I don't think you should do that one. This is bigger than just the paper. I don't think you should do it. I think it's a terrible idea. Nigga, you tripping. Click. BART workers fired from refusing COVID vaccine get $7.8 million payout. 6 former Bay Area Transit District employees who lost their jobs for refusing COVID-19 vaccinations will receive more than $1 million after a federal judge sided with them in a discrimination lawsuit. $7.8 million verdict announced this week follows a dispute over Bart's 2021 mandate requiring employees to get vaccinated. BART is a light rail that connects San Francisco Peninsula to East and South Bay communities. The employees argued that the vaccine mandate violated their religious beliefs and sought exemptions, which the agency denied and then fired them. Understand, this is one of the things where a lot of people that held out finna get paid. All them people that they was like, we firing you, they gonna get their paper. It was another agency that just recently rehired everybody with back pay, because what they were doing was unconstitutional. I mean, it was unconstitutional. The issue was the amount of pressure that they put on people from top to bottom. They scared people into doing it. And it was horrific. And the truth of the matter is, we haven't even gotten to the point where the majority of the public understands that they were lied to. We haven't gotten to that point.
Topic for you. We'll also be watching another hearing on Capitol Hill tomorrow. This one involves a probe into the origins of COVID-19. Senator, just 3 days ago, the New York Times wrote up a piece debating what they consider the two theories. Was the pandemic started in a lab leak or by natural transmission? We look at the evidence. That's the headline that they went with. But after all the debate and all the evidence that they included in that article, they basically concluded that both are plausible. The catch here, though, and I think they're actually right about this, is that China controls all the evidence when it comes to finding out how COVID actually started. So what can we expect to learn tomorrow?
Well, I think we just to look at the evidence out there, that this is so important. It's important that Americans know this because we lost over 1 million people, 15 million Americans deal with long COVID. So I think it's important we find out where this virus came from so that it doesn't happen again. I don't think it'll be much new come out tomorrow. Look, I think it's very evident that this was made in a laboratory in Wuhan, China. And China, if they wanted to actually prove it didn't, they could have already done that. Think about this, the geography alone. What are the chances of a virus that's found only in bat caves 1,000 miles from Wuhan suddenly shows up at a laboratory?
Wow, this narrative is so far from the truth. And this just goes to show you, like, we know at this point in time where this came from, how it started. This is how far behind the truth is to the lie. We're talking about this guy's talking on Friday, the 25th of October, 2024. And we know that the truth about this was coming out in December of 2019. Like people like Alex Jones, and there's one guy in particular that I was listening to. I'm looking at his face, but I can't remember his name. They were telling you the truth then. No. This is a man-made virus. It's designed to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's designed to create spike proteins that connect inside the body. It has nanotechnology in it. And a nanotechnology assembles inside of your body and creates blood clots, and that's why people are seeing the blood clots. And I mean, all of that was discussed in late 2019. And the truth is struggling to catch up with these lies. But it's going to surpass it. And when you see signs like this where people are starting to get their back pay and get rehired and they're winning lawsuits, yeah. The truth is catching up. And I just want you to be encouraged. That's why I covered the story. The truth always wins. Now, in this case, because of the size of this lie and the devastating, I mean, the truth is going to utterly devastate this once it gets there. When people realize what was actually done to them, they're going to lose their minds. And I submit to you, I need you to understand, a lot of what you see going on right now is to prevent people, not me and you, but people who went down this road and went and trusted what these people had to say. A lot of what's going on right now is designed to keep this one single truth from coming out. Because a huge population of the entire globe fell into this manipulation. And when they realized what was done to them, when they realize what was done to their sons and daughters, their husbands and wives, their aunties and uncles, they are going to want blood. So, I mean, a lot of everything that you're experiencing right now, I mean, pretty much everything you're seeing right now is to cover this thing right here up. This one thing. And hey, people will sit there and say, well, remember, Donald Trump, warp speed, Donald Trump, warp speed. Let me just go ahead and deal with that real quick, because I'm so tired of the dummy. Let me just show you guys this, because they can be like, oh, DW, blah, blah, blah. This is where this came from. And this is the truth about what it is.
People to accept, to legitimize, biases people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin, their body temperature. Like we walked in here, we had to go through a body temperature test. Now they're using it to see whether you have the coronavirus. But exactly the same technology can determine what you think about the government. You know, anger is a biological phenomena just like disease. It's not some spiritual thing out there. It's a biological pattern in your body. With this kind of surveillance, I mean, you watch the big president, the big leader, gives a speech on television. The television could be monitoring you and knowing whether you're angry or not, just by analyzing the biological cues coming from your body.
Now I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to say this. Understand, this is what's already been done to people. What do you mean, DW? Watch. When you go back and look at all the evidence of COVID vaccines and them having self-replicating nanobots inside of the person's body who took the vaccine, you turn on a Bluetooth detector meter and you can find a Bluetooth signal coming from people's bodies that is not their cell phone. So what he's telling you is, and this is why urinal Havari is dangerous, because he basically tells you what's being done. So right now he's saying the reason why COVID vaccines was so important, COVID was so important, because we was able to get something under your skin that allowed us to surveil you. And so he's saying, you know, we can tell the mood of people based upon what we have under their skin. He's talking like it's future tense. It's already been done. And so I submit to you it's a little bit worse than that. Somebody will say it's a conspiracy theory, but I submit to you it's actually a little bit worse than that. I think that if you can monitor emotions, then you can, and you know how the brain functions, and you know how the body creates anger. That's why he's talking about anger. I'm gonna play it again.
The cues, the biological cues coming from your body. Are you angry about what you hear? Are you frightened? Are you bored? This is the kind of power that Stalin didn't have. You know, when Stalin gave a speech, everybody, of course, clapped their hand and smiled. Now, how do you know what they really think about Stalin? It's very difficult. You can't have a KGB agent following everybody all the time. Even if you do it, he's just...
Even if you do it, he's just one agent is what he's going to say. I want to go back just a little bit to this point. Listen.
President, the big leader, give
right here.
Surveillance. I mean, you watch the big president, the big leader, gives a speech on television. The television could be monitoring you, and knowing whether you're angry or not, just by analyzing.
Let's take everything could be and let's make it, everything that he insinuates could happen. Let's just replace it, which would be future tense. Let's just replace it with current tense or past tense.
The cues, the biological cues coming from your body.
From your body.
Are you angry about what you hear? Are you frightened? Are you bored? This is the kind of power that Stalin didn't have. You know, when Stalin gave a speech, everybody, of course, clapped.
All right, stop right there. So the point I'm making is, if they can read the biological cues of your body from what's inside of your body, and they can read the biological cues, being surveilled by smart devices, which when he talks about the TV, smart device, your smart watch and everything else. And early in this conversation, he was saying that they can detect clusters of illness based on the smart devices that are on your wrist. So if they can read the biological cues in your body based on emotion, then they can simulate those same biological cues in your body and create emotions. So for example, when you're mad, when you're angry, when you're upset, there's certain emotions and feelings that your body goes through when you're angry. What if they just turned that all the way up? Because they have the technology in your body to monitor it. Then they can guarantee riots. They can guarantee anger. They can guarantee a whole bunch of emotions and outcomes. This is what I'm talking about. This, when I was saying early in the last video that these people are our enemies, they are our enemies. And our enemies are bragging about how they put stuff under our skin. Literally under our skin. Next thing, and I'm going to stop it right here. World economic. COVID was the test for a huge number of unimaginable restrictions. But watch this. Let's talk about disease X real quick. Let's go to Tedros, the killer, the murderer.
After we started putting a placeholder, you know, the first that came was in the disease X is COVID. So we have experience now, and we are preparing based on that experience. A lot of assessment has been done by independent panels and experts. And based on the recommendation, many initiatives we have already started many initiatives.
Now I want to explain something to you. See this type of stuff that I'm talking about, the future? This is the kind of stuff that gets your YouTube channel banned. Like, they don't mind you talking about the politics that's going on right now, because everybody, but when you start jumping into the future, this is when I jumped into the future the first time. I jumped into the future with you guys under the context of lizard people, because I was trying to hide what I was talking about, so I threw it in the context of lizard people. Do I think there's non-human intelligent entities that disguise as humans? Yes, clearly there are. Biblically there were. So there's no, whether they lizard people, lion people, rat people, I believe, damn it, they got a little bit of everything. It makes sense, because my Bible told me that fallen angels mixed with the seed of women and created hybrids. So I believe that there's hybrids, point blank, period, shapeshifters, hybrids, all of it. But that's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about in this moment in time is this simple thing. I hid it under lizard people, and it did millions of views within 30 days, and then they turned it off. And that's when I knew that what bothered them was you disclosing this. Everybody think the lizard people stuff is no. It was what was being disclosed and what was being talked about under the guises of lizard people. So, for example, let's just say we talked about lion people, and you guys jumped on board with the lion people, but I was talking about this. They're gonna shut that off as well. So I say all that to say this is where you put your channel at risk, is when you start talking about these things, because they don't want this truth coming out. Things like Disease X, which is their next plan, which, quite frankly, I can see that being the challenge that the Trump administration faces, probably immediately upon inauguration. They can't do it, they can't do it before the inauguration, because the blame is going to fall on them. But if he does what he's supposed to do, he goes in and he just takes out all these people. Honestly, Tedros, somewhere under the sea. He down there with, they finding Nemo. You know what I'm saying?
And then the other key, in order to have better prepared and to address the disease X, is the pandemic agreement. The pandemic agreement can bring all the experience, all the challenges that we have faced, and all the solutions into one. And that agreement can help us to prepare for the future in a better way, because this is about a common enemy. And without a shared response, starting from the preparedness, we will face the same problem as COVID. And deadline for the pandemic agreement is May 2024.
He's saying pandemic agreement. The deadline for the pandemic agreement is agreement, which, by the way, Joe Biden signed us on to with an executive order, if I'm not mistaken. So what you must understand is, as we go into the future, which is what actually all my videos moving forward is going to be me talking about what's coming in the future. Don't make no damn sense to talk about what's going on. Yeah, am I excited we going to win? Yay, ha ha, blah, blah, blah. But now we're getting to the point to where the fight starts. America's standing up. She got arm on. She got her weapons. And it's time to fight. Literally. It's finna be a dog fight. You know what I'm saying? The first dog fight was to get up. You know what I'm saying? Why did that mouse just move? The first dog fight was just to get up. You know what I'm saying? To get up and stand up. Now we got a real dog fight on our hands. We got a real dog fight on our hands. You got to understand, you got a fight on your hands. Don't get all, oh yeah, we winning, and get complacent. No, we got a damn fight on our hands. I'm talking about, you got blood in your mouth. You know how it is when you get hit, boom, and that blood start to leak into your mouth, and you taste that iron in your blood. You know what I'm saying? That tooth, you feel the tooth is a little loose. You spit the blood out. Yeah, that's where we at. That's where we at right now. And if you a fighter, when somebody gets you a lick like this, like bing, and you have a moment in time where there's this decision, and in that pure moment, it's your nature of who you are as a person that rises up. Because you take that hit, you like, bing. And if you're a coward, that coward comes running out. But if you're a dog, that dog says, and then you go. Because you're like, oh man, And you actually like the feeling of getting hit. It's like, pow, whew, yeah. That adrenaline rushes, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm back home now. Let's go, let's make it happen. And that's where we are. We're in that moment as the nation. We're in that moment. We done took that hit, bing. We done took that deep breath, because that adrenaline done hit and shot through your whole system. Your heart done pulse, boom. Blood is circulating. Ain't no blood clots. Everything is getting cycled. Veins open. Blood pumping. Let's go get them. That's where we at. Let's go get them early in the morning. Let's go get them late in the evening. Let's go get them.